Hello and welcome to another Wardy's Waffle Farm update. You'll see me behind the John Deere, which I'll talk about in a minute. We take a detailed look at sugar beet harvesting. We started that this week and conditions couldn't be better. Anyway, onto this tractor. I just wanted to put one or 2 points straight regarding the John Deere that we're getting and Farrell's. Farrell's really could not have been better and have bent over backwards to help us. Yes, we haven't got the 8RX yet, but that's not Farrell's fault. It's a shipping problem, and they've done all they could to help us. When we did the deal, I didn't trade the quad track in against this tractor. I sold it privately to another dealer who sells Versatile. I was going to be having the Versatile demo tractor to help us in this harvest period, in this cultivation time, but that hasn't materialised because the demo tractor was cancelled. So if I'd done the deal with Farrell's and traded the quad track in for the RX that we're getting, we'd have had the quad track until this RX comes. And so I've heard 1 or 2 stories going around that Farrell's could have done better for us. No, they couldn't. They've bent over backwards to help us. I'm just a bit disappointed that the dealer that I sold our quad track to it hasn't materialised that we've had their demo Versatile. Anyway, that's life. It's what it is. We've managed to get on. We're cracking on the best we can, but we've now got this tractor. Farrell's have lent us this 8R, not the RX 410, so it's the same model as we're getting but just on wheels. We're going to get some drilling done with this. We're just waiting for a drawbar shim to come because the pin's not big enough on the drawbar, and then we'll get cracking. But also the problem we've got is it's very windy at the minute. We can't spray. We need to spray every field off with glyphosate before we start planting any crops. We can't spray, which means we can't drill, but we will. It talks the wind will be dropping in the next couple of days. This is Friday at the minute, so hopefully by Saturday, Sunday or even Monday we'll be getting started and get some drilling done. So just a bit of background about Farrell's and about the support they've given us, which has been second to none. So thank you to everybody at Farrell's for that. Anyway, enough of me. Let's crack on with this week's update, and hope you enjoy it. Please click like, subscribe and the bell icon, and here we go. It's Tuesday morning, October the 3rd or 4th. We've started lifting beet. You'll just see the trailer gone past. We've got we're stacking it up just here behind us. We'll have a look at that in a minute. We harvest the headlands first. Around the outside we've got a contractor to come in to do our sugar beet, so have a little bit more detailed look at this, at the crop. But this is the first field we're lifting. It's about 20 acres in this field. It's a field we've got a stewardship plot at the top. You can just see right at the top through there. So we've got 20 odd acres here we're going to lift, and it will be in the factory hopefully in the next week to 10 days. So we'll have a look at the crop and look around the harvester and just see how we lift it. Apologise for the wind. I'm going to left my microphone with the muffle on behind, so you'll hear a bit of wind noise. Apologise for that. Yeah, this is a 20 acre odd field. They've got on well lifting it. You can see by the soil type what it's like here. Not particularly high clay content, quite easy working soil, so good soil for sugar beet. And this is what we have the sugar beet on, sort of good, our better quality soils. You can see the tops have all been spread out as well, and of course there's lots of nutrients in these tops, and this will just get worked into the soil, and it just obviously helps our soil friability, helps organic matter content as well. And here's a trailer coming. We get Auburn farming. You can see Auburn farming and Dean's local farmers have this sugar beet harvest contracting business. I think they also do a few other businesses, contracts as well. But we've had these a few years now. They do most sugar beet around this area in Lincolnshire. So works well, good harvester, about probably 3 or 4 years old, good operator marker on it as well. So it's going well at the minute. You can just see at the front there, that's auto row guidance. So it feels the sugar beet and steers itself. You can see it's grabbing, and that's to help the compaction. See there the knives, they're actually chopping the beet, and that's the beet being lifted there. And then up onto the machine, onto the cab, through there. And it goes around these cleaning turbines, around one side there, then this side here, around there, and you can see it throwing lots of soil and stones and tops out. Then it goes into the elevator, up there, and into the tank. and it pivot steers, it bends in the middle. It's got four-wheel steer as well, but it bends behind the cab. And as he drops it in, it crabs. You can see there, you've got one tyre print there, then another tyre print there. So when it's wet, it really does help the soil compaction there. Works really well. Sugar beet's not too bad a crop. Odd little gaps in it, but again, not too bad. Little gap there. But those of you who saw my video and pictures of me comparing a sugar beet from about a month ago, this was the picture, and the root, the smaller root is the one from our heathland, the light land, and the larger root is from this heavier soil. So just see the difference and why heavier ground with higher moisture sort of retainability is much better for crops when we have dry times like we've got. There's one trailer keeps this harvester going when we're tipping right near the field. And there is the concrete just near there. We'll go look at that in a minute. So one trailer keeps this harvester going, mostly. And they charge us for the tractor and the trailer and the harvester in one. And obviously we know by the size of the fields, the acreage of the fields, but Malcolm in that have this, obviously computer does the area, and we're charged on the area they lift. But obviously we always compare it to our field size, and it's never normally very, very far out at all. So we do tramline sugar beet, and tramline means you've got an area there to run with a sprayer. Now, how the sugar beet drill does it, and we actually have a contractor come in and do this, and how it does it is that when it's planting the crop, it misses a row. There should be a row just there, and it doesn't put seed in that row, and so of course the row spacing is 1/2 metre apart, so 20 inches from there to there is a normal row spacing. So when it misses a row, you have a metre gap. Now you might think that's a big gap, and it is when the sugar beet first comes through the ground, it looks huge, but the extra light that you get in these rows and this row here, you get slightly larger sugar beet next to the row. And you can as well alter the seed spacing. With these drills or the electronics, you can alter the seed spacing of these rows next to the tram lines. You put a little bit more seed on that row, and that compensates for the gap in the row there. And of course you've got the same here, so that's where the sprayer runs up and down. Now with GPS and things, it's not quite so important with the sprayer, but running on sugar beet crops, if you plant the seed and then you run on with a sprayer, it really doesn't come to anything. And so it's pointless putting seed in. It's hugely expensive, about £280 a hectare for sugar beet seed, so it's hugely expensive. So it really is a waste of time putting that in and a waste of money. So that's why we tramline the sugar beet and don't put seed in. Another trailer full going to the pad, probably 18 tonnes on that. Because we're just a little bit short of room at this beet pad, once they get a line across the back and the pad starts to fill, the trailers have to back onto the concrete. Just see there the beet above the hedge, so they're back in there. Obviously we have to leave enough room for the lorries when they come and take it away into the factory. Just one thing to note, you can see the field actually does go up the hill and round the corner to the right, but it's really heavy foul clay. It's yellow clay at that top there, probably 55% clay, so way too much clay content to grow sugar beets. So we've got that in a stewardship area, and it's just across that corner. And so there's about 5.5 acres there, so just over 2 hectares of a stewardship area that we're getting paid 640 or 50 pounds a hectare every year for that. It's in a stewardship scheme. Just about to go under the harvester to get another load. You can't quite see the beet in the top. Really puts it into the trailer at a huge rate. Doesn't take long to fill the trailer. The tank will hold probably, on the harvester, the tank will hold about 20 tonnes I think. But lovely lifting conditions at the minute. The wheels of the tractor and trailer and the harvester are virtually clean. Can't beat these conditions for lifting beets. We want to get wheat in this field after this crop. see there the sugar beet going in the tank, and then it's going out into the trailer there. The tops are chopped up and dropped in the row rather than flung out to the side. You see a bit of soil dropping out. I'm going to get covered in it, we're alright. That's it, that's the trailer full. You see, it doesn't take long to fill the trailer. See the crab machine comes out the side. When they're starting a new breed, a new lamb through the middle here, the machine's obviously straight. You can just see in the very top of the tank there's an auger like a giant corkscrew that runs horizontal along the top of the tank, and that levels the beet out when the tank's getting full. So you'll see there's a space at the front of the tank, and that auger will be carrying the beet to the front, and it's carrying it to the back. You can see there you go, you can just see it running there, and it will fill the front in a minute. Just looking at the harvester and how it works, I'll just get Malcolm to stop. Just having a look under the topper. You can see these are the flails that go around here, heck of a pace, and that's what tops it. You've got your knife units there that scalp it, take the top of the beet off. And then you've got what we call walking shares, vibrating shares. These are moving backwards and forwards and they lift the beet. And then you've got this giant sort of table of corkscrews. They're running around, and you've seen the sugar beet then goes up under the cab, you can see there, and then through the machine under the cab here, the elevator there, drops it onto that turbine, that spins that way, then this one spins that way, then that one spins that way into the elevator, up into the tank, and that's it. I've just spoken to Malt, the driver, and that tank holds 20 to 25 tonnes, depends on how much soil and how dry the conditions are. It's got a Mercedes engine, 580 horsepower, and the machine's 3 years old, it's done 3 harvests. That auger you can see in the top of the tank, Malk says that those wires aren't very high, we need to get those lifted. The auger in the tank, it fills the back of the tank first. You can see it going that way, and then there's a sensor in it, so when the tank's full at the back, it changes direction and goes to the front and fills the front of the tank. But you can change all that, depends on the conditions. So if it's wet and the ground's soft and you want more weight on the back axle, you can fill the back of the tank, or the front tank can change how you fill it, which changes the weight distribution inside. Obviously, just going to empty another load. See, it comes out that elevator at quite a pace. Big tyres on the trailer, you can see it's not marking the land hardly at all. Just for some years where we really cause some damage to the soil, which obviously we hate doing. And this is the problem with sugar beet sometimes. The back of the trailer full, the tank's nearly empty, you can tell, not so much coming off that elevator now. And it's nearly at the end of the field. You can see we're not very far from the concrete pad, it's on the corner of the field, there's another load coming in. It's where these concretes are so handy, so now the crop's safely out of the ground on the concrete, no matter what the weather. Get it safely into the factory. This is what we call a BT per trailer of Bailey's. It tips it very high. The back door lifts a lot higher, and then it just lowers it down so it lifts the back door up. And of course, if you're not pushing up with the forklift like we are, you can actually use the back door to level the crop. So I level it in the heat, but we obviously push up with the Manitou. There we go. Back for another load. So that's the first 20 acres of this year's beet crop out the ground, the field behind me. And not sure how many loads we've got in the heap until it goes. It's always a job to tell here, but normally we're about 1.2 loads per acre, but whether it'll be have as much as that because of the dry weather, I'm not sure. But just to highlight this sugar beet crop here, what we can actually get out of it, and I've got a selection here of sugar products that British Sugar actually produce from English sugar beet. And if we just look at that one, that's your standard one, so silver spoon there, obviously Union Jack on the end of the bag. That is your standard pack of sugar, but you've also got all these speciality sugars. You've got some sugar cubes there. We've also got, what's that one? Castor sugar, another one in the yellow bag. We've got some half spoon, that's the sweetener, the extra strong sweetener one. We've got icing sugar as well, so a whole load of products here. But don't be fooled when you're in a supermarket and you see sugar with a Union Jack on, such as this one, because that bag, you can see there, has a Union Jack on it, but it says made in the UK. That is not grown in the UK, it's just packed in the UK. And I think it's absolutely wrong that a food product is allowed to carry the Union Jack on the bag purely because it was put in a packet in this country. So don't be fooled when you see that on a supermarket shelf. That is not sugar made from sugar beet, that is foreign sugar cane. And usually that is grown with over 20 products that we are banned from using in the UK when we grow this sugar beet or this sugar. So just remember that. So just looking at, I'll just take this bag of sugar over here, just looking here at this sugar beet crop and this heap, obviously you wouldn't believe that grows, turns, or that the sugar beet there turns into that. But just to look at it, we need on average, let me just get this number of beet, we need on average, let's just find some roots, there we go, and that's a bit big, but we'll have that one, and then one more. So to make your average bag of sugar, you need approximately 6 average roots of sugar beet. So that turns into that. Quite staggering when you look at it. So the amount of bags of sugar here, I'll work it out when we're loading it out, and when I tell you how many loads of sugar beet we've gone. Got Nala here, loves the sugar beet. It's obviously very sweet. I don't know what she's got at the minute, something out the diet, but she's always picking these sweet crops, this sugar up, because it's really good. You can see there now she's picking one up now to go and take off and have a chew. Anyway, we'll have a look at this loading out. It might go out this week, I'm not sure yet, but that's a bit of background to the English sugar beet crop. And remember, that is what you are looking for on a supermarket shelf. Anyway, that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please click like, subscribe and the bell icon to alert you of all my videos. And until next time, cheerio.